Have raided 4 massage parlors and made a half dozen arrests. This specialist Lad Egan live for us in American Fork now with what we know at this point. This is a big one, Lad.
Yeah, Mike, and this started in September when police got a tip that a massage parlor here in American Fork was offering sexual services. They started to investigate and do surveillance and say they noticed that the female employees were rarely allowed to leave.
Detectives were able to actually link 4 different massage parlors.
KSL's Chopper 5 was in the sky and cameras on the ground as police served search warrants at these Utah County massage parlors, 2 in American Fork and 2 in Orem. They report finding a large amount of cash and evidence of prostitution and women being trafficked. During the months-long investigation, undercover officers visited each location.
In each case, the officers were solicited to participate in a prostitution type activity.
In all, 6 people have been booked into the Utah County Jail on potential charges ranging from aiding prostitution to unlawful activity, money laundering, and human trafficking.
At least 1 victim of human trafficking was involved in this that we were able to remove from the situation and get some resources and some help to.
According to the arresting documents, the victim described how she was not allowed to leave the parlor or go anywhere without being instructed to by the unknown boss.
She didn't know where she was, she doesn't know anybody, doesn't speak our language.
So that just really shocked me to find that out, like stuff like that was happening so close to home.
One woman who works near one of the massage parlors says she didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
It really hits close to home when you realize that something like that happened right in your business complex.
This case is also being looked at for potential federal charges, according to American Fork Police, who say that the business licenses on these massage parlors are frequently changed. Mike, they say that that makes it more difficult to investigate and also to track ownership. So just a very complex case here.
Across the state that was meant to rescue minors and adults that are being sex trafficked resulted in 450 arrests, 51 of those felonies. 39 people were rescued and are now receiving care to free them from the world of human trafficking. As part of the operation, LAPD officers witnessed 3 women standing at a South LA intersection exactly 1 week ago on January 28th.
2 of the females appeared to be of Asian descent and the 3rd African American. While continuing their surveillance on the females, they observed a vehicle approach them. Soon the 3 females entered the vehicle and drove away. Officers conducted a traffic stop.
And 2 of the females inside were identified as minors, and following an extensive interview, one of the suspects in the vehicle was arrested for human trafficking of a minor. Law enforcement wants the public to know children are being bought and sold not in third world or developing countries, but in LA every day, and the work continues year-round, not just part of a yearly operation.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Sunday was certainly an historic day for Tampa Bay, as our Tampa Bay Buccaneers made history by winning Super Bowl 55. And amid all the excitement and exhilaration leading up to the big day, and our endeavors to make it safe and a secure experience for everyone visiting Tampa, we were also working behind the scenes to zero in on human trafficking and those who sexually exploit others. The sickening practice of human trafficking is a crime that is nothing less than modern-day slavery. Escaping the wrath of a trafficker takes courage and in some cases is nearly impossible. For this reason, we have not and will not relent in our efforts to stop the demand. And we are accomplishing this 1 arrest at a time, 1 rescue at a time. When the National Football League announced nearly 2 years ago that Tampa was awarded Super Bowl 55, we knew then that for some, our beautiful Tampa would become a hotspot for human trafficking. Our undercover detectives focus on hotels and motels, online chat rooms, adult entertainment establishments, massage parlors, and street-level solicitations, which resulted in a record number of arrests. Over the past 2 weeks, the 75 individuals whose photos are on display were apprehended while trying to buy or sell sex. The youngest, just 19 years old, and most senior, 73 years old, all of whom were taking part in this deplorable criminal practice that destroys lives and keeps human traffickers in business. In one case, through skillful and diligent detective work, we identified 3 men believed to be trafficking women in our area. Undercover detectives engaged with one of the trafficking victims through an online advertisement. She arrived at the hotel accompanied by Alvin Lynch Jr., a 20-time convicted felon, and his associate, Scott Fitzgerald. After their arrest, the victim told detectives about additional women the men were also trafficking. While I cannot provide too many details due to the ongoing nature of this investigation, I can tell you that we identified and made contact with 2 more victims, one of whom is only 17 years old. Involved in another case is Juan Canu Jr., who now faces a human trafficking charge after traveling to meet a girl he thought was 17 years of age. Cano engaged in an online conversation with one of our undercover detectives who assumed the identity of a human trafficker. Juan Cano struck a deal with the trafficker, our detective, offering to pay to have sex with whom he believed was a teenage human trafficking victim for $150. While Operation Game Over resulted in a record number of arrests, we were also able to identify and rescue 5 adult females who we connected with one of our local partners, Selah Freedom, to receive counseling and support services. And the 17-year-old female we rescued is receiving help through the Department of Children and Family. To be effective in our fight against human trafficking, we will continue to pursue every lead and every space where human traffickers operate. We will remain vigilant to identify victims and get them the help and support they need to break this vicious cycle, while continuing to educate the public on the signs of human trafficking and what to do if they believe someone may be a victim. Individuals who buy sex, whether they know it or not, may be exploiting a human trafficking victim for their own pleasure. And those who offer sexual services may be doing it against their will. And the rest may be their only chance at freedom. While the Super Bowl has come and gone, our fight against human trafficking is far from over. We will remain vigilant to rescue individuals from the cruel and miserable underworld of human trafficking and pursue those who propagate this despicable practice. Before I take any questions, I want to thank all the detectives and the civilian staff whose dedication, commitment, and expertise resulted in this being such a successful operation, with 6 women being rescued this week, one, again, only 17 years old. And a great partner of ours, Ms. Jennifer Johnson, Chief of the Special Victims Unit at the State Attorney's Office, whose team is committed to vigorously prosecuting this case. And thanks, Ms. Johnson. At this time, I'll take any questions. Oh, did that good of a job, huh?
Were all of these from Hillsborough County?
Everyone that was here?
All of these?
It was 7 women that we arrested that were coming here to sell sex. They were actually from different states, and through the interviews, they admitted that they came here to make money and profit off selling themselves for the big game.
So you had 2 people that were charged with human trafficking?
Correct. 2 people that were charged with human trafficking.
And the rest were trying to pay for sex?
Correct. The rest were trying to pay for sex. Again, we continue to target the demand. We're trying to dry up the demand. And that's why I think I have to, again, thank our detectives, because since we've been so vigilant the last 2 years, it's getting harder and harder because they don't want to come to Hillsborough County to meet detectives. They want to meet them somewhere else. And they were still able, I think these individuals let the greed get the best of them and that need to profit, and they were able to be as successful as they were. Matter of fact, it's 75 individuals, and I think there's one more they have a warrant for that they'll be making an arrest on. Well, whenever you have a major sporting event, it attracts a lot of people, and some are away from home and have that desire to purchase sex, And then you always have, there's the demand, and then you have individuals who want to take advantage and profit, and they don't care who they sell to profit. That's what makes this crime such a despicable crime. They want to take advantage of individuals for their own greed. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being here.